Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Reese's wife again, as we have just experienced the new units from the latest story mission Stardust Memory Part 2 are generally not that interesting. Today we are going to talk about the final unit in the event, SSR Neue Ziel. Same case with GP03, Neue Ziel's SSR version is really lacking in the atmospheric deployment like its UR version. Unlike its UR version. Sorry, wrong script. Thus, it cannot be dispatched in ground stages at all. This is no hover gimmick like Neo Zeong or Bjarland. Therefore, it is really such a letdown. As we see here in the stats, it has 5 movement, which is always great for tanks. Again, movement is one of the most important, if not the most important stat for a tank since it will allow it to cover bigger areas for support defense. What's interesting from Neue Ziel is that it has a very high attack power for a tank. Almost 9,000? 9,000. This would enable it to hit quite hard on the counter attack or helping to chip away opponents' HP. Its HP is also pretty high, although its defenses are pretty standard. For its passive, it has increased HP, increased attack, and finally eye field to block ranged beam attack by 40%. Remember that this is very specific to ranged beam. However, there are a lot of ranged beam attacks, thus this would be a serviceable ability to have. And a lot of units have this eye field, especially from the UC series. As for the weaponry, the AoE is pretty good with a good power, great area coverage, 2 ammos, and decreases opponent beam weapon by 20%. It seems that this unit is hell-bent in trying to stop beam weaponry. For its melee coverage, consider the large beam saber instead of the wired claw as it has more damage and critical. And finally, for the main weapon, it is actually strong with 30% attack reduction and 5,500 power. Combined with its rather high attack for a tank, this is looking pretty good. However, it only has 4 range at max. But again, being a bigger unit, it might actually reach further. Overall, the weaponry is pretty great. As for the tag, it goes to Unstoppable Tag, Test Type, and Xeon. For the Unstoppable Tag, it faces tough competition from UR units like which one do you need to open from here? For the Unstoppable Tag, it faces tough competition from UR units like GP03, F91, and Double Zeta. On top of that, it also needs to compete with Titania as a free defense unit, and of course the brand new Unicorn full armor. Where is it? Where is Unicorn? It's supposed to be white. Yeah. However, it definitely is a much better unit than the Valwalo. This one. So for the pilot, let's go to the pilot menu first. Well, of course, his best pilot is the SSR Anavel Gato, as he has increased movement, 2 blocks when piloting Stardust Memory unit, and a heal. Other options are always the UR units with 2 blocks like Yona, Mika. Oh, Mika, this is Mikazuki, the standard Mikazuki? Yeah. Go Uraki, and Ridi, which we don't have. None of us two have it. Seabok is actually pretty good as well. And so for its place in the tier list, this unit actually has a really good stat and weaponry. It's just that it falls apart in deployment system. Personally, this unit would easily top the A tier for space deployment, even perhaps low A plus if you are facing a lot of ranged beam weaponry. But being dragged down by its deployment, we think it deserves to be in at least the B plus tier. Finally, we do think it is not really worth to farm more than one max limit break of this unit. Going for GP01 full burner might be the best choice, followed by GP04. Even then, the GP04 is not as good as the GP01 full burner. So, that's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in and see you next time.